today. I'm Naomi. Oh, there we go. Now it says I'm being live streamed. I don't know when it actually started. So let
I
me start
know.
that again. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Seal Your Summer Success series for July. I'm super excited about this group. I'm not sure how many of you have been here for several of our calls. Maybe this is your first call. If you're watching us live on the Facebook group, make sure you're interacting. Make sure you're commenting, answering questions with us, just like you were live. I know a lot of our business leaders have some fun activities going on this month where you get credit for participating in calls. I'm seeing the girls commenting, they're shaking their heads, nodding their heads here going, yeah, we are. So definitely make sure you comment, tag your business leader, let them know that you're here, you're watching, and you're ready to build and grow and learn with us. I'm super excited about this series for July because it's going to speak really directly to things that I'm super passionate about in this business and the things that I love most about our Tupperware business. And today we're going to talk about the party because, I mean, come on, guys, we really, truly are the most fun you can have making serious money. We absolutely are. That was a slogan in Tupperware years ago when I started. It was the most fun making serious money. And it's absolutely true. And the party is that fun way to make some serious money. It absolutely is. So just to kind of get me started, before we really dig deep into all of the party stuff, I want to just take a minute and talk about you first. I want to congratulate you to start off right away. Congratulate you for taking time to build your business, to commit to these calls, to take action after the calls, to really internalize and then externalize all the things that you've learned by taking and using them, not just sitting here listening, but actually using what you learned from the call. I want to congratulate you for having the confidence in yourself to be on the call, to be here and say, you know what, I deserve more. And I'm willing to do the work. I'm willing to put in the time to make it happen. And if this is your very first call, I want to congratulate you for getting outside of your comfort zone and joining us here, because I know it's kind of scary, especially when you don't even know who I am and you don't know who Heidi is. Heidi and I are the business leaders that are going to be sharing with you guys today. We work with Sharita and Linda and Sarah, and the five of us collaborate all the time. And so we love when we can share with one another and, help one another's companies to grow. So I just want to say congratulations to all of you for being here, for taking that step and being courageous today to just jump right in and be a part of all of this. You're probably wondering, where am I at? I'm actually sitting in my Tupper car. I have a doctor's appointment here in just a little while. And so I'm like, I can still do the call. I'll just take my laptop with me. I'll actually take a picture of my setup in my car. You guys will laugh. But we were talking before we went live that where there's a will, there's a way. Because if you truly want to make something happen, you will find a way to make it happen. And that was absolutely what today was all about for me. It was like, no, I'm committed. I want to share this call with you guys. I'm going to find a way to make it happen. And so here we are. But let's get started talking about you. You have so many opportunities ahead of you in Tupperware. Did you know you have the opportunity to earn the title and the keys to a free Mustang convertible or $25,000 cash, whatever you prefer? Did you know you have the opportunity to have a company car in your driveway? No lease, no registration, no insurance, new tires, new windshields whenever you need them. Did you know that? Did you know that so many people in our company have been able to put their kids through college without any debt, without any, extra jobs and things like that to make it happen? Did you know we've helped people have the opportunity to buy a new home, get their first home, maybe pay off their mortgage and be debt free? Did you know that in Tupperware, you could quit your full-time job and make this your full-time opportunity? Maybe you could help your spouse quit their full-time jobs and work right alongside of you. All of these opportunities are waiting for you if you want them. And all of these opportunities are things that people like Heidi and myself and Sharita and Sarah and Linda and people within our companies have been able to do because of Tupperware. These aren't just things that, oh, I've heard that someone could make them happen. No, these are actually things that we've experienced. We've done it ourselves, or we've seen someone really close to us have that happen. And so it really comes down to choices. It's all about choices, and the choices you make in your business to get you to where you want to go. I mean, it's your business. You decide how you're going to promote your business, what you're going to do, where you're going to put your time and effort. You choose. What we want to share with you is maybe some of the ways to make better choices in your business right now. But before we even get going there, I want you to spend some time thinking about you and your family and your life and where you are today. I want you to ask yourself, is where you are today where you want to be? Is where you are today where you want to be? Or is there more that you want from this spin around the globe, right? Is there more that you want from this time that you've been given? Are you living the life of your dreams right now? Or are there things that you still want? Are there activities, material possessions, people that you want in your life that maybe you don't have right now? And one thing that I've really discovered in working with women and having the privilege to partner with women to build this life of their dreams is that as women, we sometimes stop dreaming. We forget to dream. We get caught up in the busyness of life. So I want you to kind of put yourself back in that position. Do you remember, when you were dreaming of what your life was going to look like, the white picket fence, the 2.4 children, the dream spouse? What did that look like, right? Do you remember that? And then somewhere along the way, maybe you just stopped dreaming about that because maybe part of it had happened and you were caught up in it, and then life gets crazy. Can anybody relate to that? Yeah, give me a shout out in the chat. What did you used to dream of? What are some of the things that when you were, 18, 20 years old, maybe some of you are 18 and 20 years old, what did you dream of? What were some of those things that you wanted to have? I mean, for me, I remember before I started in Tupperware, I had my dream. I was going to marry my rancher. We were going to live on the farm, right? We were going to have 3 children. We were going to have the dogs and the horses. Like, I knew what my house would look like. I knew what our yard would look like, right? I had painted this beautiful picture of what my life would look like. And for me, yeah, I did marry my rancher. We lived on the farm. But unfortunately, the rest of that dream hadn't really happened. We were both working off the farm as well. We had debt, right? We had all of these things in our life that was not part of that picture that I had painted way back then, right? Life got kind of sidetracked. Melissa said, traveling with my friends to Paris. Ooh, I like that, right? So I know when I came into Tupperware, probably one of the best things that happened was I was given permission to dream again. I was given permission that it's okay as an adult to have dreams and to want more in your life. And it's okay to go out there and create that for yourself. And so with your permission, I'd like to kind of walk you guys through an activity that's hopefully going to help you to get back to dreaming of some of those things you want for yourself. So first things first, I want you to write down 5 things you would like to see happen in your lifetime. Okay, 5 things you want more of. And I saw it. Marjorie put vacation more, clear off my debt, have more grandkids, right? I just want you to dream. I want you to write down as many things as you possibly can that you would love to have in your lifetime, as specific as you can. So if you're like clear debt, how much is that debt? If you want financial security, what do you need for financial security, right? What does that look like to you? Get really clear for yourself, but get at least 5 things down. Maybe a thing that you want to have, right? So maybe it's a home, a very specific home that you want to have. Maybe it's a vacation home. Maybe it's that trip that you want to take. Like Melissa said, I want to go to Paris. Be specific. Maybe it's things you want to do, right? Like I want to climb Machu Picchu. I want to go to Peru, right? Get specific. Maybe it's specific things you want to have. I want to have a boat. I want to have that cabin at the lake. I want to lose weight, right? I can relate to that. Okay. Get specific about what those things are. And maybe it's things you want to be, right? I want to be a grandma someday. I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I want to be a leader. What are some of the things you want to do, have, be, and give? What are the things you want to give? Do you want to give more time back to those community programs and charities and organizations that mean a lot to you? Do you want to be able to give freely to your family? I know for me, one of the biggest things when I started in Tupperware was to be able to put my children through post-secondary education without debt for them. I graduated university with a 5-year degree and debt up to my eyeballs. And when I started in Tupperware, I was actually working 3 part-time jobs because I needed to get that debt paid off. It was such a weight over us. I knew in that moment that I wanted to create a life for myself and my future family. I didn't even have children when I joined Tupperware, but I wanted to create that life for my family that they would be able to go through post-secondary education. So 2 down, 2 to go. I'm halfway there in making that dream happen for my family. Okay, so you guys have 5 things. Give me a 5 in the chat if you have 5 things. All right, perfect. Let's move on now. I want you to take and look at that list of 5. What are 3 things on that list that you would like to see happen in your life in the next 2 to 5 years? Narrow it down to 3 things on that list that you would love to see happen in the next 2 to 5 years. All right, because now we need to kind of start to take that big dream, that big vision board. Sharita talked a lot about that last month. If you want to go back and watch one of the previous calls that we talked about creating, Sarah talked about it as well, creating that vision of what you want your life to look like, but we got to start to narrow it down, right? So Marjorie, more leadership, more vision, clean up that debt. And then once you've got those 3, what is the most important thing on that list that you want to see yourself doing within the next year? That a year from now, it's July 2024, we're looking back and you're going to be able to say, I accomplished this. I was able to get this done, right? So next year, when I ask you that question, are you where you want to be? Are you living the dream, the life that you want? You can say yes. What is that one thing that you want to make happen within the next 12 months? So you can say, I'm living the life I want. I'm on my way to making that dream happen. Lose weight. Okay. And for yourself, you don't need to tell me in the chat or anything because it can be very personal, but write it down on your piece of paper. And I really encourage you to find someone you can share that with, whether it's your business leader, your director, someone special in your life, because that dream, when it's spoken out loud, now takes life. When you can share it with someone else and say, you know what, by June of next year, I want to lose 100 pounds, or I want to pay off my car, I owe $20,000, whatever it is, get specific for yourself and share it with someone else. Because it just, when it's spoken out loud, you're telling the universe, I want to make this happen. It starts to have life. And when things have life, we can make them grow. We can make them happen. I love it. Now, I want you to think about this. Do you know what it's going to look like when you pay off that car? Do you know, right? What is that going to look like? How is it going to benefit you? Does it mean you're going to have more money in your bank account? Maybe it means I'm going to be able to buy a newer car. Maybe it means I'm going to be able to take my kids places that I couldn't before. You know, if you lose that weight that you want to lose, what is that going to look like for your life? Is it going to mean that I have more energy to run with my grandchildren? Does it mean I have more time, right, to do the things I want to do because I have more energy? Right? Melissa says I'd save a ton of money and be able to pay off my house sooner. So if I get this debt paid, then I can start tackling this one, right? If I lose weight, I'm going to have more energy. I can do this, right? Starting to create that life of your dreams can start with one thing, but it can spin off into so many other things. But I want to commit, and I want you to ask yourself, if I don't do that, what's it going to mean to you and your family a year from now? If you don't lose that 100 pounds, if you don't get that car paid off, if you don't start to save money, what's it going to mean to you and your family? What will you have lost in the next year if you don't do that? And how does that make you feel? I know for me, and Heidi and I were talking about this yesterday, and I got really emotional thinking about that, thinking about what is it going to look like a year from now if I don't take the step I need to take today to make that difference for myself. If I don't get out of this place I'm in and start to work towards that. I don't want you to be where you are today a year from now. I want you to be further ahead. I want you to be on the road to making that dream life for yourself. And we are so privileged in Tupperware that we have the opportunity right in front of us to make that happen, right? We probably didn't grow up as little girls going, I want to be a Tupperware lady when I grow up, right? I don't think any of us saw that as our dream job. But guys, let Tupperware be the vehicle to your dreams. Let Tupperware be that thing that could propel you to making all those other things in your life come true. So I want to ask you, as you look at that goal that you've written down, that vision you have for the next year, how much money do you want to earn each month? Because money doesn't make the world go round, but let's be honest, guys, it's probably going to help us to make a lot of those dreams and things come true that we want to. Even if the money isn't directly related to a dream, you probably need money to help make it happen. So just quickly in the chat, how much money do you want to earn each month in Tupperware? Do you want to earn $500, $1,000? There we go, 500 to 1,000. I love it. Give me a quick shout out. We're gonna talk about, I'm sorry guys, this is Canadian. I forgot to pull this off. Just remember that as a consultant, you earn in two ways. This is really the most important thing. You earn in two ways. You get personal commission of 25%, and then you start earning a personal volume bonus. In Canada, it starts at 1,800. Heidi, is it 1,500 in the US? Yes? Okay. So it's very similar, all right? But it starts with 3 parties a month, essentially, and then you start to earn your personal volume bonus. So here's what you need to figure out. How much money I want to earn, write that down at the top. So if you said $1,000, you're going to multiply that by 4, and it tells you what you need in personal sales to make it happen. So I want to earn $1,000 a month times 4. I will need $4,000 in personal sales in order to make that $1,000 income that I want. So Melissa, if yours is $2,000, then you're going to need $8,000 a month. Okay. Now we're just strictly talking personal income, guys. You can build a team and start to grow residual income. And we're going to talk about that more later in this series. Today, we're just going to focus on the thing you can control the most, and that's your personal income and your personal schedule. So we kind of decided there's 3 ways. I mean, there's lots of ways, but there's 3 main ways you can generate $4,000 a month personal sales. First way is just by being a social seller, using your social media, the queen of your VIP group, collecting customer orders. But we kind of calculated based on an average $30 customer order, you're going to need to collect 135 customer orders over the month in order to generate $4,000 in personal sales and $1,000 of income. You could also choose to do virtual parties, Facebook parties, online, text parties, messenger parties, virtual. All right. You're going to need about 16 virtual parties in a month at an average of $250 each to generate $1,000 in personal sales. Or going back to what we know works, 8 in-person parties, whether that's in someone's home, at their office, at the park, in their driveway, whatever it looks like, but you're in person with people. Average in-person parties are about $500 across the US and Canada. So you choose your path. It's completely up to you. This is your business. You get to decide what it looks like for you. But I want to just break it down for a little bit. I want to show you what that looks like. So if you're going to be out there, right, doing one of these three things, how much time does it take each week? What am I generating for sales and income? And what does that work out to for an hourly wage to kind of give me an idea? So if we're just focused on 135 customer orders, guys, here's the reality. It's going to take you probably about 20 hours a week to do that, probably about 4 hours a day, because you're going to have to be going live a couple times a day. You're going to be posting regularly. You've got to do customer follow-up. You need to generate new ways to find customers, because you can't just rely on the same 100 people all the time. They're not going to order every month. You've got to find ways to build that. So it's about 20 hours a week. So 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, 3 hours a day, 7 days a week. You're going to generate that $1,000 a week, $250 of income, and you're going to earn about $12.50 an hour. That's reality. Okay. Or we can go to that 16 virtual parties, about 15 hours a week. So 16 virtual parties means I'm probably holding about 4 parties a week, about 15 hours, spending probably 3 hours a day, realistically, creating your posts, coming up with new ideas, following up with customers, engaging with them in your parties, all of that. We're still generating the same sales and the same income, but when we look at it based on an hourly rate, it's about $16 an hour. So we gave ourselves a pretty good raise there, okay? But look what happens if I do in-home parties. I can cut my time per week down to about 8 hours a week. So if I did 8 in-person parties a month, that's about 2 a week, right? We can definitely do 2 parties a week, plus still maintain our power hour and social presence in about that hour a day. We're still going to generate that $1,000 a week in sales, $250 a week in income, but look at my hourly rate. I'm now earning $31 an hour, and I've got a whole bunch more time if I want to add other things to my business so that I can help to grow my business even more. So guys, just looking at this, where do you think you should spend your time? Where should you become an expert? Where should you look at growing business if you're just looking at the dollars and cents of it? Okay, but I quickly put this together for you guys too. What are some of the other benefits of these 3 different avenues of my party? So we looked at customer loyalty, referrals, parts data, from those new reps, discount shoppers or business builders. You know, with 135 customer orders, customer loyalty is not very high. Okay, we're constantly needing to add new customers. The best place to generate customer loyalty is in-person parties. Guys, you know it. Getting face-to-face with people builds relationship. And the one thing that hasn't changed in 75 years is we're a relationship business. Build relationships and you all these things. Referrals happen most often from parties. Parties dated happens most often at in-person parties. Again, it goes back to that relationship you're building, back to those connections you're building. Oh, I don't know why new reps says that. Oh, I forgot to change the dollar per hour. See, we make mistakes. So new reps added. If you're just social selling, it's not very often you're adding new reps to your team. If you're doing virtual parties, probably adding that 1 to 2 recruits a month. Okay. But if you're doing in-person parties, you're definitely getting a new recruit probably once a week. As you get even better at it, probably once a week. And from those recruits, you can see the difference, guys. Most people that join just for social selling, they become discount shoppers or social sellers. They're not huge business builders. Through virtual parties, you're going to maybe find a discount shopper 1 to 2 a month. And maybe once every couple of months, you'll find someone that wants to be a business builder with you. But at your in-home parties, because they see what you do, they see how easy it is, they have connected with you, that's where you're going to find your business builders. On average, 1 person per party. When you're sharing the benefits of being a business builder, you're going to find 1 person per party who's going to come in and give it a try at that level. The benefits to you are far greater when you hold those in parties. So I want to ask you guys, if we turn over to Heidi, how are you going to build your dream? It's your business. You decide, your choice. But how are you going to build your dream? You can do one of those ways. You can do a combination of all three of those ways. But Heidi's going to walk you through, and she's going to share the power of the Power Hour with you. And she's going to show you how you can use all three avenues to build your business. And then you decide which one's going to work best for you. Thank you guys so much for your time. I'm going to go say hi to Dr. Duncan now. And you guys have a great day. I'm going to catch the rest of this call as soon as it's over, because Heidi has some amazing, powerful power things to share with you. Have an awesome day, guys.
Thank you. Awesome. Thanks, Naomi. Wasn't that great, you guys? Yeah. All right. I am going to want your help if I can. If my internet becomes unstable at all, just kind of give me a wave or something. Because where am I? I am actually in our camper. We typically camp about 5 to 6 months out of the year. Super blessed to be able to do that. And so that's where I am. This is my summer home, if you will. All right. So let's go ahead. And we are going to dive in to, I had it all up here and ready to go and it went away. So give me a sec and let me pull this up for us. There we go. All right. So now let's go into this present mode. Okay, so the Power Hour. So Naomi obviously laid out all the different ways that you can go about your business and making money, working smarter, not harder. And so now I'm going to share with you the Power Hour and how do we fit it in? How do we make time for it? How do we make it a priority if truly growing our business to create our ideal lifestyle is something that we really want to do? So I'm going to give you a couple of different scenarios. So we're going to first look at the one on the right first, where it says consultant power hour. So first and foremost, why is a power hour important? Power hour is important because it will break down your work time load, right? We can focus for duration of time and be really super focused and get a lot more done than if we say, okay, I'm going to sit down for 3 or 4 hours at a time and work on something if you're doing your business full time. Also, if you've got little ones, I want you to think of, right, the moments that you've got. You typically can do about 15 to 20 minute increments, and then you've got to go chase the little ones around. But more and more people, their attention span is less and less. Right? It's because we're short-circuited with so many different things coming at us. So let's make moments count. So if we look first here, if you're a consultant watching this, this is just simply ideas, right? And so you can work it and tweak it however you choose. But you are going to sit down. What I recommend and what I did for years is I would sit down with a timer, and I literally would break it down of going, okay, I'm going to spend 15 minutes on making host coaching calls. And as soon as that timer went off, you were done. The important thing is during that 15 minutes, you have the numbers of who you're calling ready to go. You're not spending that 15 minutes searching for who you're going to call in those phone numbers, right? Or who you're going to message or voice message or whatever that looks like into your world. Then you're going to spend 15 minutes on customer service calls. Right? And I want you to think with customer service calls is not only working on getting their orders as you're closing out parties or things like that, but I want you to think about when was the last time that you actually followed up with a customer after they got their product to see how it's working, see what they like. Is it solving the problem that they thought it would solve when they purchased it? And do that customer service. Also, when a new flyer comes out or a new catalog comes out, call people up and ask them if they would like to receive a new one And once they get that catalog in hand or that brochure in hand, however, again, that gets delivered to them, right? Since we've got social media tips and tricks and tools, when was the last time that you followed up with them to see if they had a chance to look through it? And was there anything that you could help them with? Because I remember in the day when we would get magazines mailed to us, right? If anybody else can relate, go ahead and comment that in the chat, raise your hands, right? And my husband's actually thankful that this didn't take place, but if there was a personalized customer service rep that called me every time the magazine would come out and just follow up and say, hey, Heidi, it's Susie. I just wanted to follow up with you to make sure that you received our catalog we mailed to you. And if there was a chance of you looking through it, but was there anything I could help you with? Would you like to place an order on anything that would help with your needs, wants, or desires? I would have purchased a whole lot more had somebody followed up with my personalized shopping expert. So you can be someone's personalized shopping expert. So think about that. Then spend 15 minutes on dating phone calls, right? If our date book's empty, we laid ourselves off. But when our date book is full, that brings excitement, it brings confidence, and it brings in consistent income, and it helps build us to that ideal future. And then it's spending 15 minutes on recruiting calls, right? Following up, reaching out to people, planting the seeds. So then you can, again, do this in the 15-minute increments. You can also do it down in 1 hour time spans. So many times I would get into a groove, right? You get into a rhythm. So I would set aside an hour for host coaching calls. Then the next day or later in the afternoon, depending on time frame, I would then do my customer service phone calls for an hour. Or it might be 30 minutes, right? You can adjust it accordingly. This is just giving you an idea, but the focus is 1 hour, laser focused, get stuff done. So then let's go in. If you're a leader in this business, it's similar, but there's a few tweaks. So you're going to spend, again, 15 minutes on dating calls. You've got your customer service phone calls, recruiting calls, but now you're going to add team development phone calls, right? Reaching out to your team members, connecting with them. What are their goals, dreams? Where is their business at currently? Celebrate with them. Work through obstacles with them, right? And also help them forecast. What does, when you look at their calendar, right? So if I'm working with Melissa, I'd say, okay, Melissa, I know your goal is to make $1,000 here in the next few weeks. So when we flip your calendar over, what does your calendar look like in the next 4 to 6 weeks? So you're the one helping keep them moving forward and being ahead of the game instead of behind the game. Next power hour, I created this one, our social media power hour. Okay, so I want you to think about how many times you get caught and you're the one catching yourself on scrolling, just scrolling through social media. And all of a sudden you might look and say, oh my gosh, I just scrolled for an hour with nothing. Like I didn't accomplish anything. It was just mindless scrolling. When in reality, you can help other people who are doing that same thing, scrolling. You can help them use their phones to make money with your business. Okay, so think about that. So put this together to give you some ideas and some focuses on, okay, go on social media during your working hours with intention. Okay, scrolling is for after hours and that mindless thinking if you choose to. So first, it is 15 minutes of content creation. What content are you creating to help build that know, like, and trust factor with your clients, with your leads, with people that you don't know? It's not slapping up a Tupperware flyer, but it's creating your own of maybe it's making salsa on a story, and then the stories are designed like those little mini flip book stories, right, that we would have, or those books. That's what your stories is like. So you might make salsa, and then the next page, right, could simply be the recipe, and then it could be the product that you used without saying the words Tupperware. Always let people reach out to you, go, oh my gosh, I need that piece. All right, the next one is engage with your audience. What is truly recommended is the first thing before you post anything is to spend 15 to 20 minutes on social media engaging with other people, not the same people that you know and talk to on a regular basis, right? Because you want to attract different people. So engage with other people that you don't know, or maybe you've seen come across your feed a couple of times. It's called social media for a reason. And what that's going to do is it's going to boost up those algorithms, and it's going to help your stuff start to be seen more in front of those individuals and their friends. Okay, so engage with your audience first 15 to 20 minutes before you start to post anything, because it just warms up those algorithms for you to help more of your stuff get seen. Next is share valuable content. Are you sharing content that is useful and helpful and solves a problem and is inspirational? Those are the types of things that you want to share. And the more content that's valuable that people like and share, again, it's going to boost those algorithms up and show it to more people that you don't know. All right. And then last but not least is schedule and plan ahead. So showing up on social media is vital, right, when you're working on growing your business. And so are you showing up consistently in different ways? Are you showing up on stories? Are you showing up on posts? Do you do reels? Right? And so plan that stuff ahead of time so that it takes the thinking or the stress of going, oh shoot, I have to get stuff posted today. And maybe your life is a little bit crazy, and it doesn't allow the creativity to truly flow through when you're stressed or short on time. So if you take, let's say, a Sunday morning or a Sunday afternoon or a Sunday night, and you map out and plan what you actually want to post on your social media, on the platforms that you're on, and in the different ways, it's going to make your life a whole lot easier. A couple of the tools, I'll give you a couple of tools that I love to pre-plan my stuff for is Trello. If you're not familiar with Trello boards, oh my gosh, that will be a training I do for you guys, because Trello is like gold. Or you can do, I'll give you three actually, Google Sheets, which is like an Excel. I just like Google Sheets more. And the third one is called Notion. And you can go to notion.com. And I always just do it on my computer. I'm going to look here really quick and see if it is also an app. Yep, it's also an app. Okay, so notion.com on your computer, or you can do the Notion app. So those are the three ways.
What was the Google one again?
Google Sheets. Sheets. Yep, like you have sheets on your bed. Yeah. Okay. So those are the three ones that I love and use the most. Again, I can do a training on that down the road for you guys if you would like that. Go ahead and comment below or type it in here, and we'll make sure that we get that in there for you for this series as well. All right, a few more things just really quick. I do have these trackers, and I will post this in this group for you. So you're going to be setting aside your power hour timeframes. Again, whatever that looks like for you, you can do it multiple times throughout the day. It doesn't have to just be one time, but again, creating the moments to grow your business in the timeframes that you have. So it's also important to track right? To track your progress, to track exactly what's getting done. Because how many times do we sit there and think about the business? We think we're getting stuff done, but then at the end of the day, at the end of the week, we maybe didn't get quite as much done as we thought we did because we thought we were getting much done. But when we actually write it or track it, that's when it makes a difference. So I will post these actual sheets. So here's one for host coaching calls. Here's one for recruiting. So where and when did you meet them? Phone numbers, emails, comments, right? What did they state? You can also put behind their name when you followed up with them or when you first connected with them, and where did you meet them, right? Also, you can also do this stuff in Trello boards, Notion, or Google Sheets as well. So if you are totally a computer person, those are the 3 apps that I would truly recommend you doing, okay? I also have one here for customer service phone calls and for your dating phone calls, right? So there's nothing left out. If you're a pen and paper girl and guy, what I would recommend is printing off one of these, each one of these, and do it daily and or weekly, right? Because depending on how much business or the time frame that you're looking and working your business, that can depend. But I would definitely go ahead and print these sheets off, like 5 or 10 of them. So you have them, put them in a binder so that you can keep that in front of you at an ongoing basis. Here is one more tracker, and this is an oldie but a goodie. When was the last time we tracked our party success? Like really was diligent and intentional on tracking it. This can also be a power hour, and that is just updating your success, right? Looking at the results, looking at the insights, if you will. So this just gives you some different ideas of things that are successful that maybe we've gotten away from, and how can we bring it back to truly help your success be even faster and greater than what it already is. Okay, and again, I will put this sheet in the group for you as well. So in closing with all of this, I'm going to read a quick story. But before we do that, I just simply want to share with you that your success is determined by your beliefs, right? It starts with our belief system. And whatever we believe, we can truly achieve, right? It's an old cliche that we've honestly heard for years, but it's so true. Wherever our mindset goes, it's where we start to focus. And so I want to encourage you that if the dreams that have been placed on your mind or in your heart, those aren't by accident. Those were actually placed there. And if they were placed there, that means that they can be achieved by you. So this is the elephant rope. You may or may not have heard it, but it's one that I can never get old, that I can never get tired of, and it never gets old. So as a man was passing the elephants, he suddenly stopped, confused by the fact that these huge creatures were being held by only a small rope tied to their front leg. No chains and no cages. It was obvious that the elephants could at any time break away from their bonds, but for some reason they did not. He saw a trainer nearby and asked why these animals just stood there and made no attempt to get away. Well, the trainer said, when they're very young and much smaller, we use the same size rope to tie them, and at that age, it's enough to hold them. As they grow up, they are conditioned to believe they cannot break away. They believe the rope can still hold them, so they never tried to break free. The man was amazed that these animals could at any time break free from their bonds, but because they believed they could not, they were stuck right where they were. Like the elephants, how many of us go through life hanging onto a belief that we cannot do something simply because we failed at it once before? Failure is part of learning, and we should never give up the struggle in life. So I encourage us today to break free from any limiting beliefs that we might have. Go out there, pursue your dreams with everything that you have, and use Tupperware to be that vehicle to get those dreams and help leave a legacy for those loved ones and people that come in contact with you. So I will open it up here. Let me stop sharing my screen and take any maybe questions that you guys might have. We can do that quick. And or takeaways. What was one thing that really spoke to you today?
For me, I think it was, just dreaming again and putting together like the goals. And I was fortunate enough to kind of not retire, but I was a hospice nurse for 12 years.
Okay.
And this last patient, I was with her for a few years, and I just said, I think I'm going to take a break from it for a while. It was just emotionally draining. And I just saw that whenever I lost a patient, I just thought, my gosh, life is so short. So I looked at things very differently.
Yeah. And
I just said, you know what, I'm going to take time for myself and enjoy my life, because it's just, when you see death all the time, it's like, I got to enjoy my life,
Absolutely.
So I just started to dream again and go, okay, I really want to do this. I want to be successful. I want to pay off some debt. I want to pay off my house. I don't want to be an old lady and have a house payment. And that's just overwhelming for me,
Yeah.
I want to retire my husband from his very stressful physical job. It's just taking a toll. So that's something that's like at the top of my list, is to try to get him away from that job.
Absolutely.
And, so I appreciate you telling me all these things. It's definitely helped me put some things in order.
Absolutely. Thank you for being on.
By dreaming and preparing for things and getting that hour down to a science and actually following it.
Yeah.
By tracking it. That is the greatest thing I've seen that I like.
Excellent.
So I can track it, because my memory's horrible. And I write notes all over the place. And then I forget where I write the notes. So tracking something like that for the power hour, wonderful for me, which will help me do my power hours instead of doing, oh, there's a squirrel, oh, there's a mouse,
Yes.
And that's the best thing.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. And so I just want to say thank you again to you ladies, and remember that your dreams, goals, and aspirations are right at your fingertips. You're taking the first steps by being here. You've been in a year, 2 years, and it's just getting started. So don't ever lose sight of those goals, and make each day count, because people are waiting for you. So thank you for being on, and I will post those things right away in the group after we get off here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.